drive wrong everywhere?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We still have our conversation to finish. Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah, man. So good to see you. Nice move on.
No.
Good. Good, man. Right. Thank you so much. Yes, yeah, my brother. We on the rise. Yeah, things are going to get better.
Welcome. We are here live at the National Emergency Operations Center at the NaDMA headquarters, and we want to thank you for joining us for this afternoon's briefing. Joining me is National Disaster Coordinator Dr. Terence Walters and the Acting Comptroller of Customs, Mr. Algernon Belfon. He will walk us through the process of receiving and sending vessels. So over to you, Algernon.
Hello, good evening, and good afternoon to the Grenadian populace and all viewers, local, regional, and international. We are dealing with a concerning situation in treating with the importation and processing of relief items into Grenada. The Customs Division would like to advise as follows. Firstly, all vessels and aircrafts bringing relief material into Grenada must first contact NaDMA and get the necessary authorization for the importation of such materials. We advise that ample information be provided pertaining to the items being imported, the time of arrival for the various conveyances, whether vessels or aircraft. We also advise that vessels bringing relief material into Grenada as best as possible should report to the St. George's port first before proceeding to Carriacou and Petit Martinique. We want to also inform that relief in relation to exemptions afforded to relief material will only be granted to imports addressed to NaDMA. Let me repeat. Relief and exemptions would only be afforded to items addressed to NaDMA. For persons who have already shipped items and they are already on the way addressed to various parties, we advise that they contact NaDMA and inform them of these packages so that the necessary instructions can be provided to the Customs Division so that these items can be handed over to NaDMA and we can ably identify them at the port and hand them over to NaDMA. All other information required, we kindly ask that you contact the Customs Division if you have any concerns or questions, or contact numbers of 440-2239, 2240, and one of our officers will ably assist you with the necessary information you may require, or direct you to persons that can ably assist you in treating with whatever endeavors or concerns that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Belfon. We now move for some updates from Dr. Terence Walters, National Disaster Coordinator.
Thank you very much, Ms. Etienne. And the National Disaster Management Agency continues its efforts in response to Hurricane Beryl. As we know, the islands of Petit Martinique and Carriacou have been devastated, and parts of the northern parishes of mainland have also suffered some significant damage. The agency continues to have the National Emergency Operations Center activated and functional, and all efforts to address this situation are manned here at the National Emergency Operations Center. Our relief efforts continue. Now we want to say that all relief items should be delivered to the National Disaster Management Agency headquarters at Monjulu, except you are otherwise instructed. Let me repeat that. All relief items, and that's locally here on mainland Grenada, should be delivered to the National Disaster Management Agency headquarters at Monjulu, except you are otherwise instructed. We have had some people dropping off items in one area, and so we ask that you kindly desist from that and kindly adhere to dropping off the items at the NaDMA headquarters at Monjulu. So we have received items from our local partners. We've also received items regionally from the region, from international, and these relief items are being dispatched to Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and also our brothers and sisters in the northern parishes who have been impacted and need that level of relief. So again, we continue to dispatch the relief items to Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and also to the northern parishes. We had volunteers, several volunteers working throughout the day to package items for dispatch, and we have dispatched relief items to the northern parishes today. And we are thankful. We say thanks to our volunteers for their efforts. They came in. We had young people from the Scouts and Cadets and Girl Guides and other volunteers coming together to ensure that we put packages together to send to our brothers and sisters in the northern parishes. So we thank our volunteers, and we would need your support in the coming days and weeks as we continue this relief effort to make our brothers and sisters in the northern parishes and Carriacou and Petit Martinique more comfortable. So we ask that whatever efforts that we announce, because there will be various initiatives in the coming weeks and days that we will announce, that you prepare yourselves to be part of it, to volunteer, to come out and assist, because now is the time that we should come together and ensure that we provide services, support to our brothers and sisters across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Just to update on shelters, we have 2 shelters that remain open on mainland, and we have 34 shelteries. Okay, 34 shelteries in those shelters. We also are going to provide an update on the shelters in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and as to how many shelteries are in those shelters. So we continue to work, and we will provide some level of update on our shelteries and shelters in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Just to give an idea of some of the items that you can provide, water, tarpaulin, non-perishable food such as milk, sardines, corned beef, things like that, cots and sleeping blankets or sleeping bags, pillows, toiletries, first aid kits, hand sanitizer, sanitary napkins, diapers, baby diapers, adult diapers, 5-gallon jerry cans, if you have those, reflective vests, flashlights or solar lights, generators, chainsaws, fuel cans, and interestingly and importantly, books, coloring books and other educational items for children. Okay, books, coloring books, and educational items for children. Now, there's also a need for some clothing, and we ask that if you are going to donate clothing, that you please donate new clothing or clothing if it's used that it is almost as new, because we want to treat our brothers and sisters with dignity. So if you are going to provide clothing that it is either new or almost new, close to new, and in very good condition. So those are some of the items that you can donate to this relief effort, and we ask that you drop off those items at the NaDMA headquarters at Montjaloux, except we instruct you otherwise. If we instruct you otherwise, we would give you specific location. But please drop the items off at the NaDMA headquarters here at Montjaloux. So we thank you for your support. We thank you for all the contributions that you have made. People continue to come in with donations, with relief items, and we thank all the individuals, businesses, families that have made contributions, and we ask you to continue making your contributions to the relief effort for Grenada, well, the northern part of Grenada and Carriacou, Petite Martinique. Okay, we ask that you continue donating items to that relief effort. So we thank you again, and I thank you at this time.
Dr. Walters, thank you very much. Just to clarify, yesterday you spoke about the type of food items you want. Speak to us about the expiry dates and all of that. And I know there was some sorting of clothing as well. Do you wish for people to sort the clothing before they bring it in, or just bring a whole bag? Could you talk to us about that?
Yes, sorting the clothing, folding them, sorting them, even labeling them would be so helpful, so that when we get here, the relief teams their job will be made easier. Some people just grab everything from the closet, throw them into a garbage bag, and bring them. But it would be nice if you can sort them, fold them nicely and label them so that the relief team does not, have too much effort to decide where they are going. And in terms of the food items, we would like you to bring items that would, if it's going to expire soon, possibly in another 6 months or so, that's a date. So the expiry date, okay, should be at least 6 months when you're bringing food items, because we want to ensure that when people receive those items, they can use them and that they will not expire, or that they're not expired or will expire in a couple of days, but that the people that we're giving the food items to can indeed use them. Thank you.
Thanks again. I have another question for you. There is some, I don't know if it's a rumor going around, but people are asking whether or not people from Carriacou will be evacuated, and will they be coming to Grenada? Could you talk to us about that?
Okay, so given the circumstances, there will be people who will like to come to Grenada to stay with family, to stay with friends, and so we are very happy to allow people to come to Grenada. You can stay with your family, stay with your friends, and if there is a request for evacuation, we will accommodate. We will have to accommodate, but we do understand that many people will like to remain in their home or in the area in Carriacou, because normally we don't want to leave our homes to go elsewhere, right? And it's not a case where we have a mandatory evacuation. But if there's a need and if there's a request, or if people are requesting to be evacuated, we will accommodate the evacuation and find accommodation for the people who want to be evacuated from Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Even though it's temporary, yes, we will ensure that we accommodate that.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Walters. We have one journalist online, Nisha Paul. If you have a question, you may proceed. All right, doesn't seem like Nisha has a question, but thank you for joining us, Nisha. Mr. Belfon, can you just reiterate what you, about sending items to Grenada and how it should be sent and who clears and how that process works?
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, I would like to indicate that arrival and clearance protocols in relation to aircraft and vessel remains. Arrival and clearance protocols in relation to aircraft and vessels remain. So all vessels arriving into Grenada are required to report to the Customs Division. You're also required to report your manifest, meaning the contents of your cargo, to the Asecutor system. It is preferred that you contact a local agent who can represent you in terms of preparing the necessary documentation for the entrance and clearance of your vessels. That will enable us to be able in advance to identify what cargo is on board, and wherein that cargo is relief material, we can put the necessary infrastructure in place to be able to accommodate the processing of these items speedily. As indicated earlier, items that are identified for relief for Carriacou and Petite Martinique and other designated areas, we request that these items are addressed to NaDMA. Persons intended to import items for that purpose should contact NaDMA in advance and get the necessary authorization for importation of such items. Further, the Customs Division will only allocate exemptions to imported items identified for NaDMA and identified as items for relief. So there has been authorization of exemptions for items reported for the purpose of relief until, for the first instance, up to the 31st of July. However, the Customs Division will only afford relief and exemptions to items that are imported addressed to NaDMA. Persons who are desirous of importing personal items must address those items to NaDMA, and if deemed authorized, they may be accommodated. But all items imported for relief should be addressed to NaDMA, and all exemptions afforded to relief items would only be afforded to those items that are addressed and delivered to NaDMA. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mr. Belfon. Dr. Walters, there's a question here for you. Can you tell us what the distribution system is like? Distribution of relief items. Can you walk us through the distribution process?
So we identify the areas that have been impacted. We identify the families that have been impacted. We can work through the district committees or other groups in the areas, and we identify the needs, and then the relief items are provided for the families based on, okay, and it will be based on the needs and based on the available resources. So yes, we continue to provide a relief, but we must identify who needs the relief, what kind of relief supplies that they need, and then we'll provide based on what is available.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Walters. I don't see any more hands on our platform for questions, so we'll wrap up for this afternoon's brief. This has been our 5 o'clock brief, and I'll open the floor once more for final comments from Dr. Walters and Mr. Algernon Belfon.
Thank you again. We are kindly asking that persons who intend to import items into Grenada for the purpose of providing relief to our much needed citizens, that they do everything to assist us in ensuring that all the information that affords us to process these items and prepare to accommodate them in terms of clearing them through customs is provided as much in advance as possible. That will greatly assist us. We also encourage persons to call in advance and sort information so that they're clear on persons they need to contact for authorization, persons they need to contact in relation to processing items, identification of agents or carriers as the case may be. We are, the Customs Division, are here to help you and assist you in ensuring that you are directed to the right persons, to the right areas, so that your experience can be a rather pleasant one in terms of treating with this assistance that you are providing. We thank you in advance for your support. We thank you for your kindness, and we wish you all the best. Thank you so very much.
Before we close, Mr. Belfon, is there a number and a contact person at the Customs office that we can contact if somebody wishes to donate? You said contact
yes,
Customs, yeah.
You can contact the Customs Division at our telephone numbers 440-2239-2240, or you can contact our email registry at gdcustoms@customs.gov.gd. Once you send your request or concerns or request for information to those areas, we will designate a person to respond to you, and we will respond as appropriate.
Thank you. I believe a journalist just joined us. Kalistroy, if you have a question at this time, you may proceed. Once again, Mr. Belfon, can you repeat the numbers? You spoke a little fast.
440-2239-2240. That's our main lines at the Customs Division. Once you call those numbers, our receptionist will assign you to various different areas that will be able to, our personnel will be able to answer your questions or concerns.
And the website information is?
Our email registry is gdcustoms@customs.gov.gd.
Customs?
Yes.
Say it one more time.
gdcustoms@customs.gov.gd.
All right, thank you. And we will publish that information online so that you guys who missed today's briefing can get that information as swiftly and as easily as possible. So once again, all relief items being shipped to Grenada from outside must be addressed to NaDMA, National Disaster Management Agency, for it to be exempted from customs duties. So if it's a personal item, you won't be exempted from customs duties. You will only get customs duties off if it's assigned to NaDMA, National Disaster Management Agency, and only if it is for the hurricane relief efforts. Right? The initial period of this waiver will be until July 31st, so please take note of that as well. Dr. Walters, I'll allow you to make the final comments for this afternoon's brief, and we'll close for now.
Thank you. We have been providing updates on the relief efforts and the response to Hurricane Beryl. I just take this opportunity to remind us all that we are only that's 30, I'm kind of forgetting the date now, yes. But it's 34 days into the 2024 hurricane season. It's only 1 month. We are already dealing with a hurricane. We have been told that the 2024 season will be hyperactive. It has held true thus far, and we have seen the devastation caused by the second named storm of the season. That's only the second named storm. and so the prediction is for a 20-plus named storm for 2024. So I want to urge our citizens to remember their preparedness. While we are responding to this event, while our brothers and sisters are devastated, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and we have Union Island and the Grenadines and St. Vincent, we have to remember that we need to be prepared in the event that another system will impact us. We are hoping, praying that we are not impacted by another system, but we've got to be prepared just in case we are impacted. So I just want to put a plug here for our preparedness efforts, that we continue to prepare as we go into or further into the 2024 hurricane season. So I thank you.
All right, and we do have one final question. Kalistra, you may proceed with your question at this time.
Oh, thank you. I thought you would ask it for me since I texted it, but thanks for the opportunity to ask. Dr. Walters, are there any restrictions or special permissions that are required to enter Carriacou and Petit Martinique now from outside of the disaster area to keep unnecessary visitors to the island, people who just want to sightsee at bay?
All right. At this point, Mr. Baby, I'll ask Customs if they know. But no, there's no special restrictions as such. We are encouraging people to please do not overwhelm the system in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. We do understand that they are faced with shortages of everything. There's no electricity, there's no running water, food supplies, and are very limited. And the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique need to be sustained. So we're asking, if you are going to Carriacou or Petit Martinique, ensure that you have a specific purpose, ensure that you walk, when you're going, that you self-sustained, you go with all the items that you need, okay, to sustain yourself for the day or whatever time you're going for, and ensure that you have a specific purpose. So again, Calistra, there's no special restrictions at this time for people going to Carriacou or Petit Martinique.
Thank you, Kalistra. Is there a follow-up question?
No, thank you. That does it.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. We will have another update at 8 o'clock, and our Prime Minister will be joining us at that time. So I bid you a great afternoon, and I'll see you at 8.
I drive wrong everywhere.
everybody. Come on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We still have our conversation to finish. Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah, man. So good to see you. Nice move, man.
No.
Good. Good, man. Right. Thank you so much. Yes, yeah, my brother. We on the rise. Yeah, things are going to get better.